Hey guys, SoleFern here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to set up a virtual machine using VirtualBox on Windows. And you can use this if you want to test out different forms of malware or want to let a scammer get remote access to a computer without putting your actual host machine in harm's way. So the first thing you're going to want to do is select whatever operating system you're using. I'm using Windows, so I'm going to click that to download the VirtualBox file, and now we just need to wait for that to download, and I'll be back then. Alright, now that this file has been downloaded, you can go ahead and open that up and hit run. Now we're going to go ahead and go through the setup process for VirtualBox. I've got all these selected. The one thing that you don't really need selected is this Python support. That's only if you're a developer and you're coding with Python, but I don't need that, so I'm just going to deselect that. All of this other stuff is for your security, and I'd recommend having those enabled. And click next. I want it to register file associations but not create any shortcuts. I just prefer to go to search Windows and open it up from there, but if you want shortcuts, just select them. And here it says it'll install a network card so that your virtual network is isolated from your actual network, so no PCs on your network can get infected unless you turn on remote file sharing, which I do not recommend. So what this is saying is it'll basically make your internet connection shut off temporarily. I'm going to click yes and install. Now this is going to install VirtualBox on the computer. And now I'm going to start VirtualBox. And we're done on this page. You can see I already have a virtual machine set up, but I'm going to be showing you how to set up a new virtual machine. So Microsoft actually offers free virtual machines on this website. It's supposed to be for testing Internet Explorer, but who really wants to do that? You can get either Windows 7, Windows 8.1, or Windows 10. With Windows 10, you only get a 90-day period to use it, but on Windows 8 or Windows 7, you have the ability to revert back to a snapshot and then get those trial days back. So I'm going to select Windows 7, Internet Explorer 11, and we're using VirtualBox. And now we're going to download the .zip file that contains Windows 7 for VirtualBox. This is going to take a while, so I'll be back whenever this is finished downloading. Alright, the file's been downloaded, so we're going to open that up and open up the file that's inside. Oh, my bad. Gotta extract it first. So we're going to extract it to this folder. Alright, now that your file's been extracted, open up your .ova file, and then it should open up in VirtualBox after a short time. There we go. And here we can see import virtual appliance, and it's pretty much self-explanatory from here. You can choose whether you want it to have a DVD drive or not. I'm going to say no. Choose if you want it to have a sound card or not. Yes, we want it to have a sound card. Network adapter, yes. And here's where it'll store your VirtualBox. This is your virtual hard drive, basically. It'll be stored on your host machine. And you can change the amount of RAM you want here. I've got 16 gigabytes of RAM, so I'm going to give this 4 gigabytes. I think that's how much 4 gigabytes. Maybe it's 96. Let me see. 4 gigabytes in megabytes. No, not 40. It's 4,000. Okay. So I'm just going to set this to 4,000. You can choose how many CPU cores you want. I have a quad-core processor, so I'm going to give it 2 cores. This is all up to your preference, like what your system can support. And you can change the name of your virtual machine here, so I'm just going to name it Windows 7. This is a 32-bit operating system, so the maximum you're going to be able to put the maximum amount of RAM you'll be able to put in there is 4 gigabytes anyway. Import. And now it's going to create the virtual machine for you. Alright, the virtual machine's been created, so now we can go ahead and start it up. And now you'll see it's going to start up like just a normal computer. It'll log in automatically, and you'll see that it has this background here. I would recommend setting this to public network. That way it just makes sure that your network is completely isolated if you're going to be working with malware and scammers. Close out of that. Restart later. And here you can see that it's already made an account for you called IE user. The password is password. And we're going to go in and change... I'm sorry, I haven't used Windows 7 in a while. We're going to go into user accounts, and here we can change our account name and password. So I'm just going to change this to, I don't know, Jack Daniels. And change the password. Current password, you can see on the background here, is password. And we're going to set a new password here. Give the scammers a nice password hint. And change password. There we go. So now we've got our user account set up, and you can just change the background. I'm not sure if it'll change back when you restart the virtual machine. I've only used the Windows 10 virtual machine, and that's how it works on there. So you can read instructions on the default background here. We'll go over snapshots in a second, and once you have everything set up, you can just download your programs like scam baiting tools or anti-scammer tool set. And then once you download that, I would recommend, before you call any scammers or install any malware, I would recommend going to Machine, take Snapshot, and just name it whatever you want, pre-scammer or whatever. Okay? And then it'll begin saving the machine state. And let's say we're going to download a file, just a random file. Let's do Malcolm Berlin. Extract all files. Alright, so you can see that we downloaded the anti-scammer toolset. And what if it was malware? What if it was a virus? Well, that could have been installed by a scammer. I'm not saying it is. It's completely clean, and I use it all the time. It's fun. It's fun watching the scammers squirm. Alright, so let's say you want to restore a snapshot of a previous state because the file you downloaded was malware, or you want to just make your machine clean again for whatever reason. Alright, let's say you want to call another scammer after they completely screwed up your machine, or let's say they tried to do the syskey, the old syskey technique. What you do is you shut down the computer, just like you normally would on any other computer. Now that your machine is shut down, you're going to want to click this little button here that says Restore Snapshot. You right click your pre-scammer snapshot, click Restore. Do not create a snapshot of the current machine state unless you want to have another copy of whatever the scammer did. Let's say the scammer syskeyed your machine. I don't know why you'd want to keep it, but if you wanted to keep it, you could create another snapshot, but I'm not going to. You can click Restore, and it'll take your Windows machine back to the way it was when you took the snapshot. So if we go to our documents, you can see that the anti-scammer toolset isn't there, and if we go to our downloads, you can see that there are no downloads. So if this tutorial helped you, please let me know by leaving a comment. If you have any questions, leave a comment, and I will see you in the next video. One other thing I forgot to mention is that if you're going to be using malware or messing with scammers, I would recommend getting a VPN because it'll hide your IP address and it will stop scammers from either DDoSing you or getting your location. So just download it, it's completely free, open it up, CyberGhost 6, click protect once, and if you have the free version of CyberGhost, which you probably will, it'll make you wait a little while, but once it connects you to the server, once this counts down, you'll be completely anonymous and scammers will not be able to DDoS your IP address. Alright, thank you for watching, bye bye.